Habibi Fahodie family, I'm your host Busara. You're tuned in to Warriors Over Weasels. Don't want to waste too much time. Let me get right to the African proverb. One does not bless the enemy. I'm going to say that again. One does not bless the enemy. So, if we don't bless our enemies, we most definitely should not be allowing our enemies to pick our heroes. Just think about that. As long as our enemies are introducing us to our heroes, we aren't in a post-racial society or an equal society. Because this enemy only selects a certain type to misrepresent us, whether it's politically, in entertainment, sports. I mean, they look for a certain character makeup that suits what they need. And then, if you're serious of any sort, but you have a sense of humor, they will just laugh you off as if you're a comedian. You know, that's what makes it hard for Dave Chappelle's or even Cat Williams. They even kind of, if you ask me, did Muhammad Ali a lot like that because he had a good sense of humor. But they kind of softened up the conversation. So a lot of times they look for these certain makeups, and I'm not saying that they look for Muhammad Ali or anything of the sort. But if we just look at, you know, from Barack Obama to Kamala Harris, even the most recently passing John Lewis, these are persons who are either created or recreated by our enemy. They didn't have a solid background, not just background, but a background within our community. Nor were persons idolizing them until whites lifted them up on a pedestal. You know, you can ask the average black person, what did John Lewis do? And they won't name anything. They might say civil rights. And then if people are saying that integration was a failed system, who do you hold accountable for pushing that and standing strong on it? So the enemy creates characters and introduces them to us. They don't have solid backgrounds within our communities. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with an enemy tricking us. However, there is something wrong with our people falling head over heels in every trap the enemy sets. I mean, this enemy is creating our culture or controlling what is and isn't intelligence among our own people. And they have placed bitter black people, docile black men, bitter black women in high places in the media or government or just entertainment. Their media placement has been used to create mental frenzies and gender divides. You know? And we are to blame for this. We refuse to recognize traps, and we also refuse to set some of our own. We refuse to build institutions that speak to our issues. And while we refuse to do what must be done, our enemies continue to plan what they must do, which is plan for us, to keep us from listening to those of us who have plans. Our plans are a threat to their sham progress and enemy manufactured heroes. And that's why trap rappers and stripping music are not censored on social media, but Minister Farrakhan, Dr. Valentine, the Irritated Genie, and countless others are banned, shadow banned, full-on banned, restricted from posting videos from their name, posting content from their name. And that's not at the request of black people, and they're speaking to black people. They are creating our heroes while suppressing the voices that truly speak for our best interests. And we are sitting idly while our enemy is not only creating our heroes, but destroying our real ones. History is being altered right before our eyes. Obama may have been the first black president. However, he isn't a civil rights leader, hero, or a champion for black people and our causes. Prior to his first presidential campaign, not many black people outside of the state of Illinois knew who he was or even thought he should be a president. Let's be real. But somehow, out of nowhere, you'll see pictures of Malcolm X, Dr. King, and Obama together, as if they stood for the same thing. You know, once the majority of black people not only allowed their enemies to select our hero, such as Obama, but we also allowed for comparisons between Obama and others who actually risked it all for the empowerment of black people to even be entertained. No one who is being truthful will ever say Dr. King and former President Obama stood for the same values spiritually, politically, or morally. What would Dr. King say about drone strikes? And then think about Obama and how he was the commander-in-chief during hundreds of drone strikes, some even hitting innocent, small children. We must tell the truth no matter who it offends or exposes, unless we are still slaves. Are you free? In the words of Dr. Amos Wilson, seems black people are only free to do the wrong thing. And the proof of this can be found in media, educational institutions, national medical facilities, and countless other areas where we basically are just in place to serve everyone else's interests but our own. COVID-19 hit our communities hard because the majority of black doctors and scientists are focused on solving the issues that non-black people face. So we will allow them to control everything. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they pick our heroes and control or heavily finance our so-called grassroots movements. And this dilemma has a solution. We must focus on building a self-loving community where we introduce our own heroes and financially support them. As long as we are divided or viewing greater outside of ourselves, we will allow our enemies to select our friends, devils to be our spiritual guides, and mad scientists to be our doctors. We must grow up and become the adults our future generations will thank rather than resent. And I just want to say, I hope everyone is doing whatever they need to do internally to empower their self that will make them a beneficial factor towards the collective. Until the next warrior over Weasel, I am your host, Busara, a BB Fahodie family, African liberation or bust.